Good morning, Jackednnerdy fans. Welcome to my non-spoiler review for Argylle, the latest action thriller comedy by Matthew Vaughn. Before I jump into that review though, as always, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you guys never miss out on a video. And if you do enjoy our content, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up. It is the greatest metric that YouTube uses when deciding to promote our videos to other users, and it doesn't cost you a thing. So smash that thumbs up button. We greatly appreciate your support. So with that out of the way, let's jump straight into it. So I am a Matthew Vaughn fan. I especially love the Kingsman movies. I love his style. I love the humor. I like the fact that he draws a lot of really big names in. So when I found out that this was a Matthew Vaughn fan and I saw the cast that were involved, I was 100% all in. It was just a given. So I've had very high anticipation, I should say, for this movie. I've been really excited. I've been counting down to it for quite some time. When the movie, and I'll just let you know, right from the outset, I was a little bit let down by this movie. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. And I'll go into that in some more detail in a moment. But basically, as if you haven't seen the trailers already, basically a reclusive author writes a best-selling espionage novel and basically finds herself tangled up in a real-life incident involving two different factions of spies who all want her to help their syndicate, or what have you want to call it. Because basically all of the novels that she's been writing, even though to her they were, and to her audiences they were fiction, all of the events were actually transpiring. So they want her to help them basically find out what happens next, in a way. So all-star cast involved. So you've got Henry Cavill, who to me is one of the, I love Henry Cavill. I love The Witcher. To me, he is the best Superman that we've ever had. Big Henry Cavill fan. You got Sam Rockwell, who, I was first introduced to Sam Rockwell when he played Wild Bill, all the way back in The Green Mile. But since then, he's just established this massive career, not just acting, but also doing voice and animation. He was Mr. Wolf in The Bad Guys. Massive Sam Rockwell fan. You had John Cena in there, who I love. You had Sofia Boutella, who is phenomenal. Returning to work with Matthew Vaughn again, Samuel Jackson. You can't go wrong with Mr. Samuel Jackson. Then you've got Bryan Cranston and Catherine O'Hara. 100% top to bottom all-star cast. You also had Bryce Dallas Howard in the mix as well. Now, I am hot and cold on Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm not the biggest fan. I do find her to be quite irritating at times. But sometimes she's hot, sometimes she's cold. And in this film, at least at the beginning, I was okay with her. As the movie went on, I became less okay with her. Now, not all of it is her fault. And I'll go into that in some more detail in just a moment. Part of it is her. I think she's just got a very annoying kind of style I don't appreciate. But, for some people it works, for other people it doesn't. Anyway, so you had Matthew Vaughn as the director. Huge upsell. You had an all-star cast, upsell. You had a good premise. It's an action thriller espionage movie. Dudes love this sort of thing. We love spy thrillers. We love espionage. We love action. You had all of that. Here's my thoughts and opinions on it. So, this movie to me is a classic case of first half of movie, second half of movie. First half of the movie I found to be really, really good. I really enjoyed the first half of the film. I was engaged. I mean, there were a few times where I thought, "Oh, that's a little bit silly," but but the only times where I thought that was when they were depicting her novelization. So it was supposed to be kind of fantasy in a way. So you could accept it. So but basically, first half of the movie I was into. I got it. I understood it. It was basically a typical action thriller, spy, comedy, romance, whatever you want to call it. The second half of the movie it does a complete 180 and becomes an entirely different film, in my opinion. It goes completely off the Richter scale, becomes completely absurd, ridiculous, silly, even goofy. I almost want to say it's a classic example of either studio interference, woke culture interference, or a second, first half written by one writer, second half written by a different writer, like two scripts mashed together. Because basically, once you head into the second part of it, so in the first half, where they have certain reveals or certain surprises, half of them I could see coming, half of them I couldn't. So there was still that surprise element. The second half of the film, there were no surprises whatsoever. Everything you could see coming from a mile away. It became so overly, heavily woke, and I mean, actually, I'm curious to find out who did it. Was it distributed? Universal Pictures, Apple TV. So, okay. So this was, that's distribution. So I'm not sure whether I think it's, Universal Studios. So, I mean, this is the kind of thing I would have expected to come out of Disney at the moment. Because they're on this whole woke train and everything. There's one scene in particular which just the whole thing, it's probably about a 5 to 10 minute, somewhere between a 5 and 10 minute sequence, and the entire 5 to 10 minutes I was rolling my eyes. I was bored as batshit. It was just completely ridiculous and absurd. I did not buy it for 1 second. I couldn't, it was complete and utter delusional fantasy land. And if you go and see Argylle, you know what scene I'm talking about. All I'm going to say is ice skating. And you'll know what I mean. So, look, to be honest, like, if this was a series, I would say first half of the series, really, really good. Second half of the series, really, really bad. It's exactly the same here. First half of the movie, really, really good. Enjoyed it immensely. Second half of the movie, really, really bad. Absurdly bad. It's interesting at the moment. It's getting mixed reviews. On IMDb, it's got 6.2 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got 37%. Look, I'm going to play devil's advocate because because I'm in the middle. I'm like 50% good, 50% bad. I'm actually just going to give this a straight up 5 out of 10. 50%. If they put an intermission in the middle, I would literally watch the first half of the movie and not bother with the second half of the movie. That was just how badly I disliked the second half of the movie. You had some great cast members in there like Henry Cavill and John Cena. Ariana, DeBose. I would have loved to have seen more of them in this film. I felt like they didn't utilize those actors enough in this film. They could have used them a lot better and a lot more, but then again, I'm not the writer, I'm not the director. But look, all in all, like I said, I had really high expectations for this film, being a Matthew Vaughn film, and it just didn't hit the mark for me, honestly. I might sit down and rewatch it again when it comes out on streaming with Mrs. Jackednnerdy, because I think she might like to watch it as well, and I'd definitely like to hear her thoughts on it. But apart from that, this is probably not a movie that I'm going to go back and rewatch willingly again and again and again. Unlike The Kingsman, absolutely love The Kingsman. I'll watch those movies regularly. Absolutely love them to death. But Argylle, unfortunately, it's a dud for me. Now, I still encourage everyone to go out there and see this movie at the cinemas. Make up your own decision and see where you come down on the fence. If you have seen Argylle, I would very much like to know your thoughts and opinions, and if you could hit me up in the comment section below. I do read all the comments, so I'd love to hear from you guys what you thought of Argylle. For me, it's just a hard pass, hard no. Also, as I said at the start of the video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got heaps more content coming out. We got a jam-packed couple of weeks ahead of us. We've got season 2 of Halo starting. We've got Madam Web. We've got Land of Bad. We've got the new HBO-ish Band of Brothers series, Masters of Air, has started. We've got Dune 2 coming out. We've got Ghostbusters. We've got Godzilla. We've got Roadhouse. Heaps of awesome content coming our way over the next couple of weeks. I will be doing review videos for all of it, so make sure you hit that subscribe that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of those videos. And until next time, guys, stay jacked and stay nerdy.